open the public hearing. Good morning. My name is John Walzer. I am the Executive Director of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. We're here this morning, April 21st, 2026, at 10 a.m. to hold a public hearing for the project known as Aurora Carleton Avenue LLC, located at 255 Carleton Avenue in Central Islip. A notice of public hearing has been published for today's public hearing. A notice has been published for today's public hearing, and we are live streaming as is required. If you are tuning into the live stream and would like to participate in the hearing, the call-in directions should be found on your screen. If not, I'll give them to you now. The number is 631-490-9050. The conference number is 1040, and the password is 24816. Okay, rather than read the notice of public hearing in its entirety, I'm going to just offer a summary of the project and then open the meeting up for questions and comments. So this project involves the creation of a 130-unit, 100% affordable housing complex on an approximately 11-acre parcel of land. Part of the project involves the renovation and adaptive reuse of 3 existing cottage structures into 24 residential units. These units will be set aside for persons with developmental disabilities. The other part of the project involves the demolition of 2 other buildings that total about 28,000 square feet, and the construction of a new 143,000 square foot apartment building containing 106 residential units. All of the units in the whole complex are affordable, and these 106 will be set aside for seniors. So this project addresses the critical housing needs for these populations. The total project cost is estimated to be over $109 million. And the agency contemplates providing financial assistance to this project in the form of a payment in lieu of tax agreement aligned with the term of the project's financing. So that's really a summary of the project. I will open the meeting up to any questions or comments.
You said disability. Originally, when they went to the original meeting, there was also supposed to be a portion for veterans, not just disabled. So what happened to that portion?
Let's see.
That was in the initial plans.
Yeah, so the 106 unit is for seniors, affordable senior, and the 24.
We're supposed to be disabled and veterans originally. That's what was stated.
Yeah, you might be correct on that. It could be a combination of the 2.
I know that was stated in the original hearing.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure the veterans are included.
Oh, that is a good question. I'll see if I can find an answer on that and get that to you. Do you have any other questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, the main thing is they're gonna have handicapped and they're gonna have place for senior citizens. Is it this project supposed to be for over 55 to begin with?
Senior, yeah.
The whole complex I'm talking about, not just the certain places you're talking about, the cottages. I'm talking about the main building with 120 something rooms, apartments are gonna put in. Is that gonna be just for people 55 and beyond?
Yeah, the 106 unit building is for seniors. 55 and over, yeah.
Are they allowed to have children?
And the
What's the age on the senior?
55.
55 over.
55, okay.
Are they
Yeah,
allowed to
age
have
restricted.
children in these buildings, living with them? School-age kids living with them?
No.
Are they allowed 1 resident under 55, like a daughter or a son?
Well, the lease is for the senior. I don't,
No, most 55 and
I don't
over
know how
allow allow one elder child to be with the,
Okay. That's part of the town code that, I'm not sure where they come down on that.
Okay.
But it's a good question, and I'll find out for you.
One of the other major concerns I have is with this, with the tax abatements that you're giving with
Yes.
this. A 30-year is crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you. Half of Central Islip right now is everybody's getting these tax abatements for 30 years. How is that helping us in the community who provides services for the community? I'm talking about the fire service, the ambulance service, and the schools. Because right now, the schools are being, with all these complexes being built, which I don't have a problem with, it's a great thing that's going on right now. But the overflow is only hurting the Central Islip people that live in there, who with the overload of the children in the schools are gonna raise our school taxes.
Right.
With the excess of equipment we need in the fire department to protect these other buildings that's going on now. We need extra equipment. It's gonna cost us more money, and we aren't getting any money out of these projects.
And the
Yeah.
town has
Well-
cut the town has cut the ambulance budget 3 years in a row.
So the market rate housing projects don't get a 30-year property tax abatement. They got a 10 to 15 year, depending on which one we're talking about. Okay, so in exchange for the capital investment, all the jobs, all the housing, and they get a period of time to stabilize the property, get it leased up, and you get a huge increase in the underlying assessment of the land that was there, or the empty buildings that were there. As a matter of fact, all of these buildings in that area were off the tax rolls. We were talking about it was a Central Islip Psychiatric Hospital, and then it was New York Institute of Technology.
But-
Now, this one is 100% affordable, which means they are regulated by the state of New York on how much they can charge for these units. And when they cannot, the project will not pencil out. It won't be able to do it. It won't happen without a property tax abatement that aligns with the financing. It just doesn't work. They're limited. They're regulated on how much they can charge per unit.
What type
So therefore, we have to make a pilot agreement that aligns with that to make the project.
So what type of
Feasible.
abatement are you talking about giving them?
Pardon me?
What type of abatement are we giving them or propose to give them?
What's a 30-year they're talking about?
Right. So they've got 30-year financing, and they're going to have a 30-year abatement, and it's going to be as long as the project stays 100% affordable. Okay. Which,
what's the definition of affordable?
well, this again varies, but it's where it's income. What do you call it? When they applied for a unit, they qualify based on their income, and it's a percentage of the medium income. It may be 80%.
Singles have one price.
80% of mean income.
But my only concern is, like, we are overloading our schools, not with this project alone, because it's gonna be over 55. So the chances of children coming to our schools, but all these other projects that we've had before, they're all getting these huge abatements. We're overloading our schools, and who's paying for that? But the taxpayers of Central Islip,
So
And
you're
that's
saying
one of my big concerns.
the residential.
And plus we have warehouses that are being put in right now. They're getting these abatements too, factories and stuff right now, or getting abatements too. Like, that's only hurting us in Central Islip,
Which one's in Central Islip?
The one we just had the fire on, was that
Creative
Building?
Drive?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, over there. That just
Okay.
had an abatement. They just
The
gave
apartment buildings on
years.
Carleton and by the tracks?
So,
That's DRI abatement.
They're on abatement, right?
Yes.
yeah, that's also 100% affordable.
Here's the thing, the community keeps growing, these buildings keep putting in. And we're not afforded any, you expect us, when I say you, I mean, not you personally, but you expect us to provide fire protection.
Mhm.
But we're getting no income from these people to give them the protection.
Mhm.
Because you're giving them tax abatements. We don't see any of the
I don't
money.
know about your budget, but the ambulance budget, and in Central Islip, the CI Hop ambulance budget was the only ambulance corps that owns their own building. Every other ambulance corps in the town of Islip is on town property. Central Islip owns its own building. Central Islip's budget has been cut by $50,000 over the past 3 years. And I think they got cut again this year. So
Who cuts the budget?
Angie's.
The town board.
Town board, the controller has cut their budget consistently over, and they have the second amount of calls than any other department. And they are, when it comes to
Are you talking
funding
about
from the town.
Brentwood Hopog Ambulance?
CI, centralized for Hopog Lump Family.
Centralized Hopog?
And when it
That's what I
comes-
mean.
Yeah, when it comes from funding from the town, we have the second amount of calls. We're on the second lowest refusing any funds from the town. So, I mean, all these projects are increasing the call volume for ambulance, especially that they're senior and over. You're cutting on ambulance budget big time over the past 3 years. They're not supporting the fire department. Nobody's supporting the fire department and their budget. So it's becoming a financial burden on the ambulance corps, the fire department. And it's a financial burden on the taxpayers too, because currently we have a whole slew of bunkhouses. We have a whole slew of children that live in the bunkhouses. Their families are paying, the landlord is paying one tax, and there are 4 families living there with 4 sets of children. So, I mean, it probably estimated costs the district, I would say, about anywhere from $50 to $75 million in tax.
You're talking about houses that have,
Multiple
basement
families.
apartments, that type.
Multiple family units, which
Yeah.
are being done illegally in Central Islip, and the town chooses to ignore going in after them, finding the landlord, setting it, correcting the issue in the problem. It's like we're a dumping ground. I hate to say it, but that's sometimes the way the community feels.
Right, well, that's an issue, obviously,
Like we-
for code enforcement.
Like, we just want to make you aware, like these tax abatement things that you're giving them are a great idea, but there's a fallout to them too. And that's we just want you to
Right.
know that, you know what I mean? We're not
Right.
here to, but it's hurting us a lot because we have to take more from the citizens that of our town, raise our taxes, like the schools and the ambulance to have all this coverage and protection, and everybody's making money on us, you know what I mean? The builders and the owners of these buildings and stuff. And that's, we just want to bring that up to your attention with this, you
Yeah.
know?
And quite frankly, there's a hard look at the special districts and the property tax abatements that I might be able to address.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Several years ago, we had a joint meeting with the town board, all the fire districts in
Mhm.
Nassau Town. And we were promised that before any large project would start, that they would bring us in and show us plans
Okay.
first. That obviously has never materialized.
I did see plans.
Okay, so, before a project gets to this stage where I'm involved, it's got to go through, planning.
I
It's
understand
got to
that,
go
but,
through, if possibly, change of zone or,
but in a blink of an eye, it's not a blink of an eye in your world, but in our world, all of a sudden we open up Newsday and we say, wow, there's going to be,
Right.
how are we going to prepare for this? Our manpower is all volunteer. Our manpower pretty much stays the same. Our equipment stays the same, but the more buildings, we need more equipment.
Right.
Who's going to pay for this equipment? We either have to tax more, the fire tax, or we need assistance from either the town or the people building these projects.
okay,
Because on paper, we need a lot more apparatus than what we have based on what you're building.
Right.
And it really hurts us if we don't know what's happening.
Have you guys taken a look at the pilot schedules to see what's coming?
Yeah.
So as far as, a project like this Aurora project, as we mentioned, it was off the tax rolls. Right away, it's coming on the tax rolls, and there's gonna be incremental add to the tax roll, right? Through the pilot payments. I don't know what those payments are in the first couple of years, John, you have the schedule there.
Well, that's another thing we were,
200,000 going up to,
well, that was another
It's
thing.
going from 0 to 200, and then it's gonna continue to graduate over time.
Well, that's good,
Right.
but that's another part of the thing that we're not notified of this.
So I think, and this is a separate conversation.
Yes, it is. It's got nothing to do with you
I think that
guys.
as you guys start to get a handle on future pilot payments that are coming and what they're going to arrive at upon sunsetting, where they'll be at full taxation, that can help you guys with issuance of bonds because you know what's coming.
Mhm.
So in order to prepare for these developments, it may make sense to bond them as long as you have a sense of what the schedules look like for the bond. That will help to
Well,
support
I'll be
the
honest with you,
financing.
I'll be honest with you, that's like taking heading to the casino and just taking dice and rolling them. Because things can change, then we're stuck with a bond that we can't pay for. You understand what I mean?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
and
you know what I mean?
I
That's-
think though, that is a good exercise for you guys to go through though, to start to get a sense of what do we look like 5 years, 10 years, 15, 30 years down the road?
Right.
What does our tax base look like relative
But
to what it
the
is
town
today?
controller also has to stop cutting the budgets of our firefighters and our ambulance corps, and that's what they've been doing. They have to stop hindering those budgets. Because it's only becoming, like now the ambulance corps, in order to make up, because the town has constantly cut the budget, they're now charging, every time they get a call and they
Transportation.
take transportation fee to the hospital, they're now charging. a
No.
trans-
They don't.
They've been doing that now for a while to make up the loss from the town constantly cutting the budget. Town can't constantly take the money from our first responders, period. That's what they're doing. They've been doing it over the past couple of years. And it's hurting our ambulance corps, it's hurting our fire department. And for some reason, Central ISIP has a different calculation code than everybody else. And
It also has a much higher tax rate.
Yes.
but a different calculation code than any other
It's worth
area.
noting,
So I mean,
because that tax rate makes it unmanageable for new development. It
yeah.
really does.
So I mean,
Well, how would we be able to handle that part of it?
how does that part get changed?
First of all, I think all of these are very good conversations to have, but respectfully, I don't know that for this public hearing.
Okay,
You
Okay.
know,
I understand.
But my
Like when this
point,
public hearing's over, let's sit down for a while
Okay.
and have this conversation.
you know,
Oh, again, we're just trying to put this in perspective.
And just let you realize where
No,
we're
it's-
coming
it's
from
a
with
good
things.
conversation.
And our
I mean that.
concerns, you know?
And I don't mean this the wrong way, but do you have any idea what a new engine costs now?
I don't,
Take a
I'm
good-
sure it's got a
take a
lot of
stab.
zeros on it.
Yes, it's over $1.7 million for one engine now. 'Cause that's just the way, a lot of trucks, almost $2 million. So if we need to add more equipment, we're talking a significant
Mhm.
amount of money. I mean, it's not low cost anymore, nothing is.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to put it in perspective of what we're spending more money, but in theory, we're not getting the return, you know what I mean? And taxing the taxpayers, we're in an area where the tax base is not the greatest as far as taxes. And it falls on the residents of the town, because then we have to hit them with a harder tax.
And that's the point of some of these projects.
Yes.
And it is a longer play,
Mm-hmm.
to your point. It
Right.
doesn't give you that immediacy that you're looking for, but it's certainly an investment in tomorrow so that we don't have these problems tomorrow. It's the expansion of that tax base. And when you look at a project like Aurora, where we arrive at, not even at 30 years, but 10, 15, 20, incrementally, you are significantly higher than where you are, and things should start to balance out. And that's the whole point of these pilots.
No, I appreciate it, thank you. But the project's gorgeous looking, I just want you to know that.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
It's not an eyesore, it's a beautiful, it's gonna be a
very nice.
beautiful complex in there. That's what we want to, you know?
Yeah.
I wish we had what happened across the street from the train station in Ronkonkoma. I wish we would get that type of a complex in, because that is gorgeous over there, what they did.
Yeah. Station Yards. is what
Yes,
they
Station
call it.
Yards.
Just project development, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely, that is gorgeous, I tell you, you know?
Yeah, that's a massive project. We have, the one project you mentioned up near Suffolk Avenue, the top of Carleton Avenue.
Mhm.
That's near the old centralized
Train
train
station.
station. And we've got the DRI for the downtown Carleton Avenue. Though the thing is, with those parcels aren't that big, so there's only so much. Like that one project that's going to kind of anchor it up at the top is they parcel together. They
Three, right? Three.
cobbled together, 4 or 5 parcels to
Right.
do that. But the rest of them are not that deep.
What's the completion date for this, the 55 and over?
For this one, it's probably going to take 2 years to build.
2 years?
Georgia Venture's gonna start applications soon, because they're gonna come to my meeting and talk about the 90-day period of filing the applications for those funds.
There'll be a lottery, I'm assuming.
It is a lottery.
For the housing there, there'll be a lottery?
All 95 units is a lottery.
And the 24 that are gonna go up at Aurora eventually, that'll be a lot of them.
And 106, all of them. They're all affordable.
106 will be,
Senior affordable.
senior affordable, okay,
Yeah.
so that'll be a lottery as well.
The affordable
What does
ones.
that mean?
The
Again,
affordable ones.
what
no,
does senior, what does
the demand
affordable
is there.
mean though? What's the definition?
There's different cutoffs for the average median income, so, there's different tranches. Typically, it's an 80% AMI.
So ballpark, 2 years, what's someone gonna pay? A month?
I don't know.
Okay.
And it would depend on studios, 1s and 2s, I don't know how they'll break that down.
Yeah.
But look, they have to recoup their investment, so they're gonna price them as best they can, right?
That's all I have that we brought up. I just wanted to explain to you what we're looking at and which angle we're looking at and how maybe we could work, on this to get something completed that could work for all of us, And that's all we're asking today,
We just want to also be included in the game plan with this, because at some point, we have to protect these structures. And not looking at plans, not, being consulted with the plans kind of hinders us.
Because we have to worry about hydrant location, standpipes, systems, water mains going in what size.
Access,
things that we
egress,
have to look at,
equipment, and like I say,
Road accessibility and all those things.
sometimes we find out about this stuff because we open up Newsday and read it on page 3.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're right there. You can see it being, before they get their C of Os, they have to get all their everything checked out by including.
Not through us though, that's the thing.
But don't you work with the fire marshal?
We were supposed to, when we had that meeting, they were supposed to bring the fire districts in if there was a major project going on in their fire district.
For input.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because most of us have our own fire marshals,
Mhm.
but types of towns in the area having jurisdiction. But honestly, sometimes you open up Newsday and there it is. It's like, wow,
Who knew?
I mean, we let's face it, we probably didn't know because, that we heard it from a heard it.
I know the building
But-
is gonna be like an H.
That here's everything.
Yes, the H.
It's the H building with underground parking, or under the building parking. I've seen the plan. I reviewed them several times.
On a fire protection standpoint, we just need a better heads up too. We need, because once this building's done, it's gonna fall on us or something.
Debbie, when are you meeting with the builder to bring you the plans for your meeting?
For what, Georgia Venture?
Yeah,
Georgia Venture in May.
in May. So we're gonna be attending that meeting too then, definitely.
I mean, when they do the site plans, don't they have make sure there's accessibility for emergency vehicles?
We haven't been getting anything, that's what's the promise.
Well,
Years ago, we used to get the prints of the property where the hydrant locations are.
I
And
share.
we haven't been getting them.
They're supposed to,
15 years.
They don't get-
but if they did, but if they determine what access and egress, and then we go there and say,
Because I stay on top.
our vehicles, our trucks aren't gonna fit. But they're not gonna make this turn, and this has happened before. They decided where an egress would be and an access, but we say, we'll never be able to get a ladder truck in there.
It's a 3.2.
It's impossible.
And new construction?
So it's happened. But the time to discuss that is when you're looking at the plans, not when you're pouring the cement.
Not when you're looking at the curb cuts.
Exactly.
And the hydrants already getting,
Yeah.
But,
Well, I hear you, but,
It says nothing.
that's what our engineering department is for when they do a site plan review and,
But they don't call, right? They don't, we never get a call about these things.
okay.
Unless we get in there and say, why aren't we being notified
Well,
about
I
it?
guess, in the interest of time, they're just going by New York State code and the town code.
yes,
No, I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong, but we'd like to know,
Okay.
you
Well,
know.
maybe try to resurrect that relationship too. I'm not sure who you met with in the past.
We had a.
And we're happy to help.
who was the guy who used to run
This
this?
one.
This must have been about
project
4
is,
years ago. We met with the town board
Mike Pintillo.
Okay.
and Angie.
This project is Mike Pintillo.
All right, and he'll be at your meeting, you said it.
No,
No,
not,
that's Dave Gallo.
that's Dave Gallo.
Gallo,
That's
right.
the other project. This is down by New York.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Georgia Green's much further along than,
Yes, and they're
Aurora.
also much easier to work with.
Okay, all righty.
Oh, we
um.
did a pretty
is
good
this
job
the
of
only-
taking up most of my time
Is
here.
this the only hearing today?
Yes.
Yes.
Are they putting swimming pools in?
No,
No?
no swimming pool on this one.
Okay.
This is gonna have, dog, bocce courts, I think,
Dog park. I
dog
saw.
walk, yeah.
Yeah, the building is a form of an H, and then it's
Mhm.
underground building, parking with elevators going up.
Some landscape.
Are there underground
grounds.
tunnels under there too?
Underground tunnels on that side? I don't know.
What, from the old hospital?
Yeah,
I know they're still on the other side that town has not collapsed them all.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're.
The
there
other,
should be underground still there.
I would think so.
Well, you can't build anything new
Well, they
at this
usually
time.
take care of it, they have to.
Well, you
take-
can, but you have to bait
They have
the,
to make the tunnels.
we had to do that with our new building.
Okay.
We had
Firehouse.
we had to go underground and fill it in.
The
So
old-
I don't know if it goes under the, I don't know if it does.
I
You would
know for
better
a
than
fact
I
it used to go underneath there,
I know
but I
there's
don't know
still,
what happened in the past
there's
25, 30
still
years.
10 acres
The-
in the CI Park that still has tunnels underneath it.
The old Central Islip Psychiatric Hospital, there was something called the String of Pearl Buildings. It was the largest building in the world.
Yeah,
It was all connected.
yeah, when I was young and I was in high school, if it snowed out of summer, we used to head in there and run when we were on a wrestling team in the tunnels.
Oh, yeah?
You were more scared than anything else when they'd be running the hell out of you,
I believe it.
They ran 17 kitchens at peak.
Wow.
State Hospital, 17 kitchens. They had their own dairy. They had their own, they made their own,
Laundry,
not just,
bakery.
they had their own power plant,
They had a dairy farm. They
they had
had,
dairy, yeah.
Very
Yes.
self-sustaining. Yeah,
Oh, God, well, it was a city.
right.
On the weekends, the railroad would put extra trains on, people visiting.
And there was a railroad station in that hospital complex.
And there was a railroad yard,
Just go north and south.
supplies would go in via train.
It was an amazing complex they built.
And they put extra trains on because the
Way ahead of
amount of
its
people
time,
coming to
I should
visit
say, you
people.
yeah.
They had their own orchestra,
No
the
kidding.
patients, they had their own orchestra. They were very good too.
And they had their own band where they marched in parades in town too, the patients.
When did they formally close?
Formally 90, like 89, 90.
Okay.
89, 90, yeah.
Okay. I thought-
Formally.
But it was shrunken down too.
Yeah,
Right.
You know,
New York, that's when New York Institute of Technology came in. But it was the premier place in the 50s and 60s. It was huge.
John, do you want to close the hearing and we can sit around and chat if you guys want?
yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up is just keep you abreast of what we're.
On the next
looking at
history
right
of
now.
Central Islip.
Yeah, I'll close the hearing if you want.
Okay.
You guys have any other questions?
No, I have no other
Sure.
questions. I just,
Okay. We've had
You can
a
stick around. We'll-
nice discussion, but we are approaching 10:30, so at this time, I'm going to close the public hearing and sign off. Thank you.
Did anybody else come on? No, huh? Okay.
Just you guys.
All right.